What's up, YouTube family? It's your boy Fish. Welcome to another exciting video from On the Gram TV. Please like the video. Please subscribe to On the Gram TV. You can also find us now on Instagram at On the Gram TV. We're also on Twitter at On the underscore TV. So please follow us on Instagram and Twitter. As I said, today we got another exciting video. I'd like to introduce to y'all Smoo, also known as Gregg Paulings. Has a very interesting story. I've been knowing Smoo for years, back to Brooklyn, New York. And so without further ado, enjoy the show. Peace. Things, well, how this all got started was the video with Lil Black Gary. I had put that up, and then you had sent a comment, and I had seen the comment. I think I might even like the comment, but then you gave me a call, a couple of days later, and you said you wanted to, express some feelings to me. And so I said, well, hell, let's do a video, man. Put those feelings out there. You know what I'm saying? See, one thing, let me say this, Smooth, and then we're gonna jump into this. One thing about it, man, is I like to present all perspectives. You see what I'm saying? I'm not just trying to present a one-sided story, or this is just how it is. Everybody in the hood gotta go to prison or nothing like that, So I thought it was a great idea to have you come on and give it from a different perspective, and tell a different story, that's going to reach the young brothers and some of those people that's out there that's probably feeling hopeless right now. So what's your thoughts on that, Smoo?
Well, as I look at it, coming from where you and I grew up, we know that there were a lot of young gentlemen out there that stayed in trouble.
Yeah.
They was always in trouble. And when you see the police, you automatically know it was either him, or them over there. And you see him running and cutting through buildings and dodging and ducking, all that stuff. So we kind of knew where the trouble was at.
Yeah.
And as a young man, our parents tried to keep us so much away from stuff like that. But when you lived where we lived at, it was around you every day.
Right.
Some people you liked, some people you couldn't stand.
Right.
Some people picked on you, some people didn't pick on you. So most of us kind of separated ourselves in groups of, okay, these guys are over here sitting on the bench. Those guys are down there at the end of IS 320 drinking beers, cooling out. Then you might have some people over there underneath the wind tunnel doing their own thing.
Right.
So everybody kind of got their little group, and stay with their little group.
Yeah.
So you already knew when you seen one person like Shop. If you seen Shop, you seen me.
Right.
If you seen G-Man, you seen Handbrake.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, every morning, every Sunday morning, we knew the older guys would be out there playing basketball. 7:30 in the morning. They down there doing their thing. Big Doc was out there fixing cars and doing trucks, and Mr. Miller was over there fixing somebody's car, putting some brakes on something.
Yeah.
That was the norm. That was the norm. And and like I said, we knew everybody. So as things started to change and people started to grow up, the whole community, to me, you couldn't come in there and bother no one without someone stepping into the picture.
Right.
And that's how it always was. But after you find out, we got a lot of young fellas, and one in my building particularly, that committed a murder, and he went to prison for that. Okay. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows who that was. Okay. Not to say any names, but, and that kind of didn't go well with certain people. Okay.
Yeah.
But life is life. And you got choices that you make, and as a former correction officer, I used to always tell guys, I said, I didn't put you here. Okay. Let me tell you that right now. My job is care, custody, and control. That's what I'm responsible for.
Yeah.
what you did on the outside has nothing to do with me.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna treat you fair. I'm gonna treat you like a human being because that's what you are. Okay, you're a human being first. So regardless of, you know, you get in there and say, you know, well, this cracker did this and this cracker did that, and you know, black men do the same thing that white men do. They commit crimes. It's the same. Ain't no color in the crime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? White collar crime, black collar crime. Crime is a crime.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, with that, I learned that, you know, a lot of inmates that were there, very intelligent brothers. You know, white, black, Chinese, or whatever, very intelligent.
Yeah.
Just made the wrong choices.
Right.
You know, just made the wrong choices. And you know, your mother and father used to always tell you, you know, hey, those choices that you make, you're gonna pay for those. Yeah. You're gonna pay for those. Some of us didn't want to listen. Some of us, you know, didn't think that, you know, it ain't gonna happen to me. It ain't gonna happen to me. You know, listen, I went to jail for something that I wasn't even involved in. Okay, I wasn't even there. Right. Okay, and I got wrapped up all into it. You know, I had a good job at that time. I was working on William Street. I just started as a bookkeeper underwriter.
Yeah. Hey, Smoo. Yeah. I'm gonna stop you right there because I want to kind of build up, because there's a lot of people that's gonna be watching and they don't know what 320 is and they don't know what the wind tunnel is. You know what I'm saying? So can you elaborate when you say the wind tunnel and 320? You know, what are you talking about? What area are you talking about? You know, I know, but it's going to be a lot of people watching that ain't going to know. So can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Okay, well, and when we grew up at Edgefield, the wind tunnel, it has a section of pillars that hold up the building. And when you go through it, the wind blows real hard. So we always call it the wind tunnel because when you come through there, the wind from one side of the buildings to the next side, it flows straight through. So when you get through the wind tunnel in the winter, oh, it's freezing.
Yeah, I already know.
you make it through the wind tunnel. You happy to be on the other side.
Right,
you know?
right.
And underneath there, you know, there was two buildings. One was 77, the other one was 220. Okay? Yeah. And most people, if you lived in one of those buildings, you probably hang out there because at that time, you couldn't go through the doors, but now the doors are open. But 220 door, you can always go through. Okay? So those were little hangout spots. 320, which is Jackie Robinson Junior High School.
Right.
Okay? Which was named after a women's baseball player, Jackie Robinson.
Right.
Which at the field became named after after the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so that's how Edgefield got its name.
Right.
Okay, so you know, a lot of people went to Jackie Robinson. Shout out to those who did. I didn't get the chance to go there. And with that being said, and that's how, you know, the wind tunnel, and you know, underneath the green wall. I mean, it's underneath the thing is over there by 77. You know, we sit on the ledge over there.
Yeah.
I got the name of it. Yeah, we used to sit on the ledge over there. Or you be on the rails. The rails was, you know, the wrong rails, which was on top. Okay, we used to go post up and put up on there. You know, a lot of us used to sit
on the patio.
Do our own thing on the patio. Right. Yeah. And so that's how that all got started.
Right, right. So let me ask you this, Smoo. I know you mentioned a little bit about being a CEO, right? And quite frankly, you know, I really don't know that guy. You know what I mean? But I know Smoo. You know what I'm saying? And so, what was life for you like? You know, back in them days in Edgefield in Brooklyn, New York. What was you into, and what was some of the things you was doing? And maybe now is a good time to go ahead and jump into that little story you was getting ready to tell.
Yeah. You know, back then, I remember sitting on the benches one day, you know, and your pops had checked. He said, "Hey, Smoo, come here, man." I said, "What's up, G?" He said, "Hey, man, you got some weed to sell it?" I said, "Well, yeah, I got some." He said, "Well, we need some." I said, "Well, where your money at?" He said, "Well, we just want you to give it to us." I said, "Well, I can't do that." He said, "How about we take it from you?" He said, "Well, you ain't taking nothing from me." Okay. And then when his partners came up and said, he showed his badge, and I was like, oops. I said, oops.
Yeah.
I was like, he said, you don't know who you around sometimes. He said, you're not built for this. He said, this life is not for you. And he said, when I look at you, I see a lot of different things. He said, because, your pops had me since I was 14 playing, playing on the basketball team with Mr. Wright. Yeah. And that's how I met him. You know what I'm saying? And he grabbed me underneath his wing, and that's how we became so close.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he had me since I was little.
Right.
So, that kind of changed my perspective and say, you know what, I got to do right, because I knew my mom wouldn't like some of the stuff that I was doing.
Right.
Half of it she didn't know, and if God forbid, if I would have had to go through and put that lady through that much, man, I don't think she could have handled that. Yeah. Because I was her only son. I don't think she could have handled that. So I took it to myself and said, you know what, I got to start doing better. I got to start making better choices, And then I met my wife. And when I met her, that changed a lot of things, because then I had kids, and I wanted to see my sons. And at the time that I was going through that little problem I had, my son was still in my wife's belly. And I said, you know what, I got to be here for him. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I asked my wife to marry me, because I said, you know what, with that being said, I can have somewhere of seeing him when I need to see him. And I ain't want no other man to raise my child but me.
Right.
Okay. I never wanted that to happen. So I started doing things a little bit different. And I always remember what your pops had told me. And that stuck with me for a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that I'm on the other side of the fence, and that happened after I retired out of the Navy. And I said, well, I got to find something to do. And I said, I always wanted to be an officer. Okay. I always wanted to work in law enforcement. So I said, well, let me go to college. So the Navy paid for my college for me to go there. Yeah. So when I went, I graduated with my bachelor's degree. And then I went out, and the first job that I signed up for was a corrections officer.
Let me ask you something, Smoo. Could you elaborate a little bit on the situation? Like I said, I know a lot about your story, but a lot of people that's going to be watching, they don't know. I know you had a situation that really put you at a crossroads of whether you was going to go this way or you was going to go that way. Can you talk about that situation a little more in detail and what happened and, all of that?
Oh, well, okay. It was, I think it was actually about around June in the summertime. I was upstairs, me, my mom, and my girlfriend, and we seen a bunch of cars, that was lined up on 47 McKeever side, because our building apartment faces out that side. So you can see everything from the park all the way on up to Franklin Avenue. So we see those, and we said, well, I wonder what's all those cars up there lined up for. And then my mom said, well, I don't know. I said, well, Mom, I got 30 cents. I said, I'm going downstairs. I'm going to go get me some Lucy's. She said, well, you better not go that way. I said, I'm not going that way. I said, I'm going to go the other way through 1720, because you get up on the first floor. Yeah. And being that my building was in the middle, you can go left
you come
or
out
right.
On either end. Right.
Come out on either end. You can go right through 47, or you can go left through 1720. So my best bet was to go left through 1720, because I'm going to the store. I can come up the stairs and come on the patio. Yeah. So as I get off the elevator, I seen two individuals that I recognized, okay, going real fast down the hallway and going upstairs. So I was like, okay, I ain't pay them no mind, because I don't know what they're doing. So when I get up the stairs, they on the patio and they on the wall. You know what I'm saying? The police got them on the wall. I'm like, wow, what these guys done did? I said, well, it ain't got nothing to do with me, so I'm gonna keep on going about my business. So as I come up and getting ready to go down the stairs, the officer told me, he said, hey, come in. I said, for what? He said, come here. I said, I ain't coming over there because I ain't do nothing. He said, if you don't come here, I'm gonna come and get you. I said, okay. I walked over there. At that time, I had on a polo shirt, some shorts, and a pair of Chuck Taylors. I'll never forget it. And when I got there, this other man from the other side came under the wind tunnel, and he was talking to the police officer, right? And I didn't even talk to the other two individuals that were there. right? They didn't say nothing to me. I ain't say nothing to them. So the other police came back and said, y'all under arrest. I said, for what? He said, you'd be in charge of robbery in the first degree, second degree, assault, and I think it was like 7 charges that I had.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't even here. I had nothing to do with this. He didn't want to hear that.
Right.
So they took me on down to the precinct. And after that, the ball started rolling after that. And one thing led to another. And the next thing I know, I'm at Supreme Court, okay? And they said, we're going to remand you until a further hearing date. I said, I didn't even know what the word remand was.
Right.
All I know is they was putting handcuffs on me and they was taking me to the back. So I said, where I'm going? They said, you going to Rikers Island. I was like, wow. Don't. So, I done heard of some stories about that place.
You won't be smiling or Rikers Island.
I done heard some stories about that place.
Right,
right.
right.
I don't know if I'm fit for that, but I would do the best I can.
Right, right.
Just so happened that my godfather was a CEO at Rikers Island.
Okay.
So the first mod I went to was mod 5. They moved me from, as soon as I got in mod 5, the next day, they moved me from mod 5 to 4 lower.
Okay.
So I went to 4 lower, and I stayed to 4 lower until my next court date was August something, I think it was. So when I got there, they let me out.
So how long was it from the time that you got arrested to the time how long was that? A month, 2 months, what?
It was probably about 2.5 months.
Okay. So you was locked down almost 3 months.
Yeah, because it happened like the second day of June, I remember.
Yeah.
Right, or maybe in May. I think it was June, but as a matter of fact, it was a little bit later than August 4th because I had got out right before Labor Day.
Yeah.
It was like a week before Labor Day because my birthday was coming up. So I was there for about 2.5 months, I would say.
Right. Okay. So what happened when you went to court, man?
Well, when I went to court, the judge said we kept going back. They kept giving me offers and offers and offers, and I was like, I'm not taking nothing because my attorney, which is Desmond Green, his office was on Nostrand and Park, and he was like, hey, listen, man, he said they gotta do. This guy's saying that it's you and it's you, and I'm like, I'm telling you, Mr. Green, I was not even there. Period.
Right.
Okay. I seen what happened. I seen the cards and everything, but I wasn't there. So he's like, well, okay. So they got me down to, I think we had what happened was they found the other individual because there was another person they was looking for. So they found him.
Mm-hmm.
When they found him,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they arrested him. Okay. And then now me and him is going to court together. So we go to court one day. We're down at 360, I think it's Adams Street. I forgot what the Supreme Court address is. But we down there. And it's me, him, my mom, and my girlfriend. She's pregnant. And we go to lunch. He says, all right, come back. We're going to talk to the witness and see what he says and such. So we went for lunch. So I came back, my girlfriend and my aunt and my mom. The other person didn't come back.
All right.
So we went in there. He says, well, where's your co-defendant? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know where he is. He says, oh, well, he says, I never forget this guy. I never forget the judge's name, man. The judge's name was Judge Michael Corriero. Right now, he's the judge on Hot Bench. He told me, he said, we was going to remand you today and send you back. He said, but you've been coming to court faithfully all this time. Your mother's been here. I see your girlfriend's having a baby. And he said, I believe the witness, what he said. He said, but since your co-defendant ran, he said, I'm going to let you go. He said, but I'm going to tell you this. He said, I don't ever want to see you in my courtroom ever again. And I said, you know what? I said, you never will. From that day on, I never seen another courtroom again. That right there changed my whole life because it happened like this to an innocent man that could have went for a long period of time, and he was innocent. So I said, you know what? I got to start changing my ways and doing better.
So is that when you decided to go into the Navy?
Yep, I decided to go into the Navy. I moved and left out of New York. I went to Buffalo, and Buffalo is where I joined the Navy at.
Okay. And how was that
So
experience
I
for you?
joined. Oh, that was great, man.
Yeah.
I had a time of my life, man. I
Did
really did.
you like a lot of military people I talked to? They done traveled the world. Was that your experience too?
Yeah, I've been all over the world. I've
Okay.
been in, like most people, like they think, they see Dubai and they say, I want to go to Dubai. I've been to Dubai 7 times.
Okay.
Okay. I've
Yeah.
been to Seychelles, Africa. I've been to Toulon, France. I've been to Rota, Spain. I've been to Portugal. I've been to Lisbon. I've been to Naples. Naples is not the greatest place, but you go overseas. Like I said, I've
Right.
been to a lot of places, and I done seen a lot of things, and I travel for free. And those to me were like free vacations because
Right.
you have to pay to go places like that nowadays. For
Right.
us, they was paying us to go over there. We was working.
Yeah.
So that was the best thing I ever did in my life. And it benefited me, it benefited my children, it benefited my wife.
Yeah. So did you start school while you was in the military, or that was after you got out of the military?
That was after, because once I got out and I was on my way, okay, they had this they have two bills that you can go on, Montgomery GI Bill and a post 9/11. Which they pay for you to go back to school. So what they do is whatever you was getting as a basic allowance housing um, um, money, that's the money that you would get when you go back to school. So at that time, I was getting like $1,600. So they was getting every month. I got $1,600, okay, just to go to school. I didn't pay for no books. I didn't have to pay my fee, and everything else is already paid for.
Right.
That was my money for me. Right.
Cool. And so you graduated. I know you said you went for criminal justice. So you got a bachelor's in criminal justice.
Yes.
Okay, awesome, man. That's what's up. And so after that, you went into the law enforcement field. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the same thing. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do some. I'll do something different. I was work state, and now I still work for the state. So it was just a change. Something to do something different because I was doing the same thing for quite some time. So I just figured I'll do something different, and that's what I'm doing as of today.
So here's the big thing. This is the big reveal for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because I think this is a beautiful thing, man. And I really wasn't certain, but I had seen some pictures and just through conversation, I had an idea. Why don't you tell everybody what you do now, man?
Well, I'm in law enforcement as we speak right now, and it's a different avenue. It's a different jungle.
Hey,
It's
Smoo. Hey, Smoo. There's
huh?
gonna be some people that don't understand what law enforcement means. And let's be more specific, man. Like, what are you, man?
I'm an officer.
A police officer, right? That's what's
Correct.
up, man. And that's a power move. And you know what? I was thinking, like, how is it for you, like, coming from where we come from and experiencing some of the things we experience, and I hate to use this term, but as street dudes, because that's basically what we were. How is it for you now that you've transitioned into the role of a police officer? How do you feel about that? Like, tell me about that.
Well, well. What I do right now is I work on a campus. Okay,
Okay.
and we there's a lot of people on there. Okay, and us as officers, um, it's the transition is different, kind of, sort of. Okay, you deal with the same things a lot of times. Only thing about it is that's different. It's just a lot, and we have other officers there to help us, you
Yeah.
know, to help us do certain things. So I mean, like I say, it's just a different feel, it's just a different feel. I mean, you have to go through it to understand,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, one
It's
of the
it's not
things that
something that
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry about that. Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
yeah, it's just a different thing. It's just a different, you're a person all day. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? your person all day, and a lot of people, and I always tell this to certain people, you know, some people don't like officers, okay? And the first thing I say is, if you don't like them, okay, so when something happens, don't call them, okay?
Yeah.
For them to come and help you. Don't call them because you don't like them. If you don't like them, don't call them.
Yeah.
You know, and I say that because this person is just doing their job. Like nurses do their job, like doctors do their job. You know, everybody has a job to do. That's what they do. That's what they signed up for.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you did a job, you know, and somebody signed up for you to do it, you know, respect that person for what they do. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what color they are.
Yeah.
It's a job.
Yeah, but you know, like, and now we can get into some of the stuff, and particularly your feelings about that video you saw. But you know, particularly in our culture, in the African American culture, I know when we was coming up, we was always taught, you know, NWA, fuck the police, and all of that. And that we don't talk to cops and so on and so forth. And then even with your own experience of being falsely arrested by a police officer, you know, how does all of that play into what you do now? Like, do you see it from a different perspective, or, you know, you still understand that culture, but, you know, you just doing you?
I see it as that person was doing his job.
Okay.
He was doing his job. Okay. You know, you're innocent until proven guilty. Apparently, I wasn't proven guilty, so I was innocent all along.
Right.
Okay. So, you know, I give my faith, you know, to the most higher up, and you know, believe that he would never seek me or let me fail.
Right.
Okay. You know, I just look at that. My faith has always been strong.
Okay.
You know, and it would continue to be strong no matter what trials and tribulations I went through. To me, right there, what I'm talking to you about is a revelation. Right. Not a revelation, it's a testimony, excuse me. It's a testimony.
Right.
That you can change. Something in your life would turn you around and change you real quick. And you know, when I lost my mom, that was the roughest thing, you know, and I always wanted her to be proud of me. Yeah, I always wanted her to be proud of me, you know, and then, you know, by me joining the Navy, she was proud of me. And, you know, I was, you know, being on that note right there, I had went to boot camp and I was graduating. So when my mom was passed away, I was over in Bahrain. They sent me back from Bahrain to bury my mom, but she wasn't dead yet. But I had on a different stripe, different rate badge because I didn't get promoted yet. So what I did was I wanted to make her proud of me. So I took the one I had off and put on a higher upper one. And so she could see that I made rank. So I went into the hospital and I seen her, and she couldn't talk really, but she was pointing at my arm, and I was like, yeah, I did it, which I didn't do, but I just wanted to make her feel comfortable and happy at that time because I knew she wasn't gonna make it another day.
Right.
I goes back to the ship. I gets back to the ship, and the guys was like, hey, Pauling, man, congratulations. I said, what you congratulating me on? I just buried my mom. He said, yo, you made rank. I said, get out of here.
Wow.
Said, yep. You see that? To this day, man, I still can't believe it, but that's exactly what happened.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
In my heart, I did make her happy. She did see that.
Right. So you wasn't, theoretically, you wasn't lying, you know what I'm saying? No, but you didn't know it though. But I got some other questions I want to ask you, man. You know, I just this is for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your feelings? I mean, because we see a lot of you know, black men being shot by police. You know, we see the stop and frisk in New York, where, you know, they'll just pull you over for no reason, and they say that, you know, that's prevalent in the low income inner city. You know, what's your thoughts on that? And I'm not trying to put you in a place, you know, these are just questions that people want to know, you know, and I want to know too. Like, speaking to a black officer, I want to know, like, what's your views on that? Brothers being shot, don't have no guns, you know, they shooting them left and right. I see it all the time on the internet. and then
Well,
also uh, 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 policing styles in low income inner city neighborhoods. What's your thoughts on that?
well, I'm gonna give it to you from my personal view
Okay.
because I can't speak for everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Sometimes it could be wrong. You know, I don't know. I don't know what that person's going through at that point in time in that situation. I can't say because number one, I wasn't there. And number two, I don't know the facts. Okay. And number three, that's not for me to judge, you know, anyone on their decisions. Because I'm not the person, the most highest to judge anybody about their actions. Okay.
Okay.
Say it's
But
wrong. Yeah,
hold on. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, you know, there's a right and there's a wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that.
Okay, all right.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that happen, you know, where you know, like the killing that happened. I forgot it was. I don't know if it was in Maryland or South Carolina when guy got shot in the back. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of other things that happened before. You know, can I say it was wrong? Yeah, a lot of it was. The ones in Chicago, they was wrong too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could say that they was wrong. You know, but I always say everybody's human. And like I said, I don't know what was going on in that person's mind at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You in Florida, right?
Yeah.
There was a guy in Miami, Dr. Henderson. Are you familiar with that story that just happened a few days ago? He's a doctor. He's a black doctor. Anyway, he was in front of his house and he was loading his van with supplies because he goes to the inner city and he distributes those supplies to the homeless. And somebody called on him, man, and said, you know, that old suspicious guy in the neighborhood, he's in front of his house, man, and they locked him up, you know, and took him to jail, you know, and then eventually they found out, you know, he wasn't lying to him, that he was a doctor, and now, you know, it's been, you know, public humility for that police department. But, you know, I'm just trying to put some situations out there that, you know.
Like I said, everybody is human.
Yeah.
People their actions are different from anybody other actions. I know a lot of officers that are cool as hell. I mean, a lot of them.
Right.
I mean, a lot of them. That's real nice. White, black, whatever. I mean, they're great. And I'm not saying that just because I want, you know, I'm trying to, you know, put myself in different situations. No, these are who they are.
Right.
But you know what? We sometimes as young black men, and I see it sometimes, they always have a thing of running this right here, right? When somebody telling them to do something, they always have to run this, and this right here get you deeper in what you are already in, because you're still doing this. You're running your flaps. Sometimes be quiet. Be quiet sometimes and listen. A lot of them don't even want to do what they want to do. But when you start being disrespectful and think that ain't gonna fly good.
Yeah, it just escalates the problem
at all. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem right now. And then you got a lot of they can do what they want to do and think the consequences they ain't gonna pay for. Okay? And all we doing is killing each other because we can't learn to get along and we don't know how to talk to each other. That's our problem. We don't know how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
When we learn how to talk to each other, it'll be all right. But a lot of us don't have education like a lot of other people do. And when you have that, you got a conflict right there. Okay? And it's gonna bounce like this all the time. You know, because you know what? They don't care. So by them going to prison, so be it. I'll go to prison. But when they get in there, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Yeah, I often say that. I say that a lot here on the channel, and I say it like on all my social media platforms. You know, I'm in tune with you know, the situations that we as a people are faced with on a day in and day out basis. However, you know, we play a lot. We play a big part in, you know, our own destiny and the situations that we involve ourselves in. And I agree with you on that aspect that we have to make better decisions for ourselves. You know, black-owned business. You know, education for some. You know, if that's what they choose to do. You know, there's just a lot of things that we have a choice to do better, you know, as a people, you know, and I agree with you that, you know, a lot of the black on black killing, you know, it's got to stop, man. We got to start loving each other. You know, we got to stop hating each other and so on and so forth. So I agree with you on that aspect. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was you had some feelings about the video that you saw. The name of that video was Straight from the Belly of the Beast, and you had expressed some feelings about watching that video. You want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, when I watched it, it kind of, you know, I've been knowing Lil G for a long time. Man. You know what I'm saying? That was my dude right there. You know, I didn't even know he was incarcerated.
Yeah.
You know, the last things I heard about him wasn't too good, you know, and for me to see him, I was like, wow, you know, and to see him like that, it made me mad. Like, it really made me mad because he's never been like that a day in his life. You know, how did that happen? Is a wrong path or wrong road, and the choice.
Yeah.
And the choice. The choice is the biggest thing. That's what gets you to where you need to go.
Right.
And it was just sad for me to see that, to now, you know, to sit there and hear you say the things, you know, that you're saying to, you know, now you're educated now. You was educated before you went in there. You just didn't make the right choice.
Yeah.
Now that you're in there, your choices are different. So I always say this, and this is the honest to God truth. I don't care how you put it, okay? You take an animal out of his environment, he's gonna change, okay? It's like when you cut down the trees, that's their home, that's their environment. You take them out of that, they're gonna go somewhere else, and now they're gonna have to fend for something else. You took them out of their environment. So you can make a change. It's like you take a person out of the environment and put him in a structured environment, he has to change.
Right.
He has no choice. That's the only choice that he gets. Either he swim or sink.
Yeah. That's
the bottom line. So it's the choices you make, and it's the environment that you're around. If you're around, I can't say that you have to be around knowledgeable people or people with bachelor's degrees or PhDs. Just to be around normal people that care and that want something for themselves, and you'll see how they struggle to get it. But you know what? They never stop pressing on the gas. They keep on going.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second, Smoo. I want to go grab something real quick and show it to you. All right? Hold on one second. Right. Hey, can you see that?
Yes, I can.
You see what that say, right?
Good job. Good job.
You know what I'm saying? So,
good job.
So I get it. You know, a lot of people don't know that about me. You know what I'm saying? I graduated in 2016. Now we talking about a person that's been in prison, you know, prior to that, so on and so forth. And I got tired of just being, so I went to school and I was able to obtain my bachelor's degree as well in business. Okay. And I'm like 8 credits away from my master's right now. But a lot of people don't know that about me. So I say that to say that I understand where you're coming from. At the same time, I understand the plight of our brothers and sisters, you know, and I think it's way deeper, you know what I'm saying, than just making a decision, because there's been some systematic, you know, conditions that have been placed both in society, our society, and in our minds over years. You know, it's just been years and years and years of this systematic conditioning, such as fathers being out the house, you know, all those types of things, you know, that plays a role in how people think and how they view situations. And that's why it was so important to me to do this video too, you know, and not just do videos with my guys from the joint, you know, my guys from the street, because I got them. I'm still in the streets. and I got a bachelor's degree. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, I just feel like it's important that we paint both sides. And I want to say, man, like if nobody has told you, man, that I'm very honored and inspired, man, that you doing what you're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, being a police officer, because I know, you know, I seen you back in the day. Like I said, used to be in my crib partying with my pops. You know what I'm saying? So I know where you came from, and I'm both inspired, and you know what I'm saying. I appreciate you, you know, doing this video, man.
Kenny Jefferson told me once before. He said, "Smoo," and Kenny Jefferson and my man Dark. Me and Dark go way back, man. We used to go to school together. Me and Dark that's my dude. Still, man. I call him from time to time.
Yeah.
Those two told me. He said, "You know what? Don't worry nothing about what people say. They laugh at you. They say this and they say that." He said, "You keep doing what you do." He said, "Obviously," he said, because Kenny Jefferson was a police officer one time too.
Yeah, okay. He was a police officer. Said, I remember he was that back then.
Yeah. So he said, "You keep doing what you're doing," and he said, "You know what? What you doing?" He said, "Nobody can take from you."
That's right.
Nobody can take that from you.
That's right. You know, and we as a people, we need to embrace our success stories, our powerful brothers, our successful brothers. We need to embrace them, man. And
our sisters too.
Yeah, and our sisters, because what we get is a lot of time we get a bunch of hate. You know, like I'm gonna hate on you because you're doing well in your life and decided to have a career and do the right thing. And that's sad, man, but it's reality, you know?
Yeah, it's sad. It is sad. And you know what? One of my sisters that I see her doing all the time, and I speak to her from time to time, is Tamika. That girl.
Right yeah. I was just thinking about her today. She's doing her thing, man.
Yeah, listen, I remember when she used to babysit my son back in the days, and they used to always say, I said, "Mika, you want?" She said, "Yes, Smoo, I got it." And she'll take him. I wouldn't see that dude, man, for hours until she come back to the park and like, "There you go, Smoo, you all right?" I said, "No." She said, "I'm going to take him with me." I said, "Well, good, because my mother used to babysit him."
Yeah.
Back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So when I see her, I said, "You know what? Look at that girl." I said, "I remember she was a little girl. Look at her now. She's a grown woman doing her thing. She's a nurse and all that." Yeah. Look at that girl. I told her, because she only live a couple of hours from me. I said, "You know what? When I get a chance, I'll come down and see you." She said, "Smoo, you come on down." She said, "Don't worry about nothing. I got you. You know, but my time has been so busy. I'll get down there one day." But that's one of my girls right there. That girl, she's doing her thing.
Yeah, she definitely doing her thing, man. I see on Facebook, on the book all the time. And that's the thing, man. I love to see my people come up, man. I embrace that. You know what I'm saying? I love to see that. Yeah, as a people, that's what we're supposed to do. But unfortunately, you know, in our culture, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, there's always hope, you know, that it'll get better. And speaking of hope, man, what do you got, you know, because we get ready to close this video out. Is there anything that you would like to offer to the world as far in terms of hope, in terms of just reaching out to your people? You know, is there anything you'd like to say to anybody?
Keep your eye on Jesus. He'll never leave you or forsake you. Okay. And that's the truth. Because there's one thing that I know now, and I want to get back to, I want to say that in the beginning. You know, when Peter was in the ocean with all the disciples and everything, and Jesus walked to him and said, "Peter, come to me." Peter's faith was so little that he didn't believe what he was seeing. Right. Okay. So when he stepped out, he didn't make it because his faith was strong.
Yeah, he started to sink.
Yeah, he started to sink. Yeah. But if your faith is strong, he'll never leave you. You got to always have that. Even when things are not going your way, you say, sit still and let him do the work. Okay, because we have a habit of always touching things. Every time we touch it, he trying to fix it, we messing it up. So you give him more to fix than what he told you not to do. Right. You know, so that's what you have to do first. You know, even if you ain't, I'm not saying I'm the most Christianest person in the world, because I make mistakes too, and we all make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to continue to make them. But you know what? As long as I got good faith, and without faith, without works, there's no faith. Without faith, there's no works. Okay, so you have to do that. You don't have to go to church every Sunday. You ain't got to go every other Sunday. Honestly, it doesn't really say you have to go to church, you know, to believe. You know,
Right.
that's where you congregate at. And that's where you worship at.
Yeah,
But
but
you
it's a
pick up and
personal,
read.
it's a personal relationship.
Right. It's a personal relationship. There you go. Once you got that, you'll see a lot of things start to turn around and figure out how's all of this happening.
Yeah.
Because you got faith.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I believe I believe that you're absolutely right. You know, one of the things I always say on my channel and in my interviews, I don't care if you're Christian or Muslim or whatever. In order to succeed in life, there has to be a spiritual component. Has to be. If there's no spiritual component there, you will not make it, man. It took me almost 30 years to figure that out, man. About that spiritual component. It's a must.
Yeah, because the devil's always working. He's always working, man. Around every corner and every crack. He could be sitting right here, right now, next to me and you while we talking. You know what? We ain't even paying no mind, because you know what? We gonna know that somebody who's gonna see this gonna have something bad to say. I guarantee you, the first person that's gonna see it is probably gonna have something bad to say. Well, they don't know what we talk about. Well, I'm not saying we know what we're talking about, but can you enlighten us, my brother? Because each one teach one, we all teach each other. And that's what the brother True Wise told me one day. I had a long conversation with him. He taught me that. And I always believed that too. I kept that with me too. Every good thing that a brother has told me, from True Wise to your dad to everybody else, I keep with me. You know why? Because that's my little circle of knowledge that I get that nobody can take away from.
That's right. That's right. All right, man. Well, we get ready to close this up. Is there anybody you want to send a shout out to in the fields, Evansville, down in Florida, wherever around the world?
I just want to send a shout out to everybody that I know, and people that I love, and there's no special people, you know, that I want to shout out to, because I love all of y'all. None of y'all are different from any other ones, okay? But I just want to say this. If you know better, you can do better.
That's peace. That's peace. Well, Smoo or Mr. Pauling, should I say? Hey, man, I really appreciate you taking your time, man, to do this video with me, man. I'm certain you and we're going to be talking, you know, from here on out. And again, man, I appreciate what you're doing, man. I appreciate, you know, your message. I appreciate everything, you know, about you right now, man. Because like I said, I know where you came from, man. You cut from the same cloth, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so to see you excel and put your mind to it, to do something positive with your life, man, and actually do it, man, I'm like Kenny Jefferson in Dark, man. Do your thing, homeboy. You know, I appreciate you, man. Much love, man.
All right, peace, man.
All right, I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Yes, sir, my brother.
All right, peace.
Talk to you later. Peace.